Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night. It's of course that time of the week when we take a look at what's happening in the world of club rugby, and it looks like it's all sevens action at the moment. But before we begin the show tonight, let me first welcome my two guests on the show this evening. Paul Delport, Springboks Sevens accomplished player and former under-19 world champion player, under-21. Paul, it's a fairly long list, huh?
Yeah, Japs. I think you letting the viewers in on my age, but it's good to be here. I missed you. It's been far too long.
It's been way too long, yeah. Jerome Paarwater, hoe gaan met jou, meneer?
JP, niet zo goed nie.
Ja.
Allemaal weet zeker van tieners wat maandag voor ons verlaat het. Ja, het is een beetje tough, maar...
Yeah. Right, folks, well, I suppose we all know now Tinus Lanier sadly passed away on Monday morning. And a big part of our show tonight will be dedicated to tennis. And we'll talk to Jerome more about that, who of course knew tennis extremely well, as well as all of you out there who are big tennis fans, and a man who certainly managed to represent on the rugby field, not only on the rugby field, but also off the rugby field. And as we said on Facebook, certainly gave a lot of people a lot of hope. So we'll talk about tennis a little bit later in the show, and also let you know about some of the memorial services that are on the cards for tennis, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And please stay tuned for that information, because I think for those of you that want to share in that, you might want to know the information around that. So that's coming up a little bit later in the show. Of course, this weekend, though, it was Sevens action at Villages. The Westmoreland Club Rugby Sevens was postponed, which was originally at City Park, I think, according to, because there was a referees function, was scheduled for Thursday evening, and has now been moved to this week, either Thursday or Friday. We're just waiting for finality because of the various memorials that are taking place. But we'll take a look at those fixtures in a second. In the meantime, it was, of course, the Rocket Super Sevens at Villages. A lot of people have been waiting for this. We took part in it last year, the Cape Rugby Sevens side. Let's take a look now at some of the highlights from the Rocket Super Sevens. Welcome back, folks. Yes, a lot of excitement there, Villagers, Brookside, and of course, Paulie, you were there, as we'll probably see in one of the interviews a little bit later. A lot of action there, highlights galore.
Yeah, Jabs, it was a great tournament. Warren Edwards did really well. I remember we played in it last year, and there were 16 teams. This year there were 34. So I think going forward, we're really looking for big things to happen with this tournament, especially in terms of Sevens development, not just in Western Province, but in South Africa.
Last year was, of course, a one-day tournament. I think it started in the morning and finished in the evening, like a big jaw. 2 days this time. We've done 2-day tournaments before. I think it's one of the reasons the Cape Rugby team actually decided not to play. I mean, everybody wants to play for the Cape Rugby team. We had a lot of requests to put the Cape Rugby TV7 side in there, and it was huge. I mean, you and Ish and Morgs coached that side last year, or captain, coached, and managed them. I'm still not really sure. And a one day was doable for us, but a 2 day is a different thing altogether.
It is. A 2-day tournament is definitely a different beast altogether. I think what we did this year, Japs, was to accommodate more teams. We kind of used the IRB sevens model, which was 16 teams, 4 pools of 4, and then your 3 pool games on day 1, and then quarterfinal, semi-final, and final on day 2. There are various ways we could set the tournament up. So we're definitely looking at different ways for next year. Last year it was quite tough for the guys. I think they played 5 games on the one day. I think 4 games on a day with a straight knockout system will be a good system to use.
Are you allowed to change players from the Friday to the Saturday, or must you use the same guys?
Yeah, we were quite strict to begin with, because we kind of set it up exactly as a tournament on the RB series would work. So if you go in with your 12, those are the 12 you can use.
Yeah.
But where we changed it a bit to make it easier for the guys coming off a long 15 season was we made it rolling subs. So the guys could go off and go on.
Because that was one of the problems that we had last year, was we entered a bunch of guys on the Friday, and not everybody can make it on 2 days, the Friday and the Saturday, and it just made it impossible for people to travel, especially people who don't play often.
Yeah, definitely. It's tough. I think this year, because it was planned so far in advance and planned so well, it ended up going down very, very well. But it's definitely things we can improve on, and we're actually looking forward to next year. Next year, we're hoping to at least have 48 teams. So we'll see how it goes.
I know that it sounds like it was an absolute jaw. Everybody wants to see some more rugby action, though. So let's go now to the 3rd and 4th place playoffs, which is, of course, Belhar up against the Western Province Academy. More fun. Belhar and Western Province heading towards each other. All right, so you probably worked out what some of the results are there, but we're going to keep going. There's a lot of rugby action here. Of course, that was Belhar up against the Western Province Academy. Paulie, quickly, the Western Province Academy, a lot of people still don't really know much about, or maybe Jerome, maybe I should bring you into the picture. Also nog met jou gesels vanaand. Although I did have to introduce you guys right at the beginning of the show. Jerome, the Western Province Academy, you've got, of course, at HPC, you've got Stormers, Western Province Currie Cup from 19s and 21s who play there. And then in Stellenbosch, you've got the Western Province Rugby Institute.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about the academy itself.
Yeah, we've got the Institute, and then we've got the Western Province Academy, which is out in Turkey, which Anton Moorman is heading up. Because there's so many guys that wanted to go to the Institute, and they couldn't fill anybody, or it was too full there.
Yeah.
So then, they decided to open another one, which is sort of the fringe guys all go to the Western Province Academy. And a few of that guys actually played in the Western Province under 19 and the Western Province under 21 side also.
So Province is using the academy already as well?
Yeah, so they basically work on the same format as they work at the Institute.
Right. Okay, so how do you get into the academy?
You apply, some get bursaries, and some, I know some parents pay, and then you stay there for 11 months.
Is it for after school? I mean, do you
it's after school.
It's
yeah.
after school. So you go first, people out of high school.
Yeah, and I know a lot of parents or a lot of guys use it as sort of a gap year to see if they can get an opportunity or get a contract to become a professional player, which is good because it work on the same basis as the Institute.
Yeah. You can kind of work it out though, Paulie. I mean, a couple of moms and dads have got enough cash to put their kids into a rugby academy, and then they kind of realize afterwards maybe this kid hasn't got it.
Yeah, definitely. I think every dad in South Africa wants their kid to be a Springbok.
Yeah.
But it is great. There is a lot of overflow when it comes to the Institute. I mean, we based at SAS as well. And it's great for some
SAS,
guys
of course, the one in Stellenbosch.
which is the one in Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
It's great for some guys that are fringe players, like Coach said, just to be able to get an opportunity. Because sometimes guys come out of school and they haven't developed yet, and that year of conditioning and that year of being exposed to coaches who've coached at a high level and conditioning program that gets them up there is very, very beneficial to them.
All right, one of the semi-finals games then at Brookside was, of course, the match Belhar against Marties. This was an interesting game. Belhar against Marties. Marties, of course, didn't play in the Champions League at Newlands, so Belhar kind of missed the opportunity to play against Marties. Let's check out some of the highlights. Great game there between Bella and Marty's, but it was, of course, Marty's coming out the victors there. Paulie, just watching some of the highlights there, some fantastic rugby going on there.
Yeah, definitely, Japs. It really was fantastic. Some of the talent there was incredible, and the level of play and the understanding of sevens, especially when it got towards the finals in the Premier Division, was great. I mean,
Yeah.
you get that guy from Marty's, that Mike Miller. He's an absolutely incredible player, and then old Cheslin Roberts from Balha as well. There were some very, very impressive players there.
Jerome, you think do you have any scouts out there on the day? Anybody? Because this seems to be a thing now. You look at the sevens guys, you bring them into the 15s game. I mean, look at Cheslin and Sibelo and the guys. The sevens guys are making waves.
Yeah, definitely, JP. What I've seen there now, I wasn't there because I was in Saldanha at the other sevens.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second.
Yeah, we definitely miss out on a few players, which I saw now playing there in this tournament, which really could help a lot. And as Paul said, I could see the standard was quite high there.
Yeah, before we, in fact, folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we're going to look at the rest of the matches, of course, that took place at Brookside. And we're going to speak to Jerome about the national sevens championships that took place at Saldanha over the weekend. And, of course, stay tuned, because a little bit later during the show, we want to give you as much information as possible about the Tinus Lanier Memorial, and as well as some messages from you, the fans that posted it on Facebook and on social media. We'll be back with you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, it is Cape Rugby TV. And incidentally, just there you see on the screen behind me now, Matfin Money Matters. All right, if you've got some financial concerns and you want to try and consolidate things and you need some good advice, then get hold of Matfin. They really, really are able to help you. Just SMS the word debt. Now, a lot of people out there are in debt and they're not quite sure how to get out of it. Do they pay out of their credit card? Do they pay out of their home loan? Do they pay out of their bank? Do they go get another loan? And Matfin, of course, one of the supporters here at Cape Rugby TV. So give them a call. You can SMS them to 31022. Just text the word debt, and of course, that's the key word debt. D-E-B-T. Debt. Debt. All right, debt. People often have said debt, but it's not debt, it's debt. All right, as in D-E-B-T. All right, and the number that you need to SMS to 31022. If you're a homeowner, they will certainly be able to help you through some of your financial concerns. All right, one of the other matches that took place, of course, at Brookside at the Rocket Super Sevens was UWC up against the Western Province Academy. Let's check out some of the highlights of that match. Pretty good stuff there from UWC and the Academy. Jerome, do you think the Academy guys had much time to practice? I mean, a lot of guys, they just jump in the tournament just to have a run.
Yeah, look, JP and they've got lots of time. So is the students. They've got lots of time,
Yeah.
and I know they play like amongst each other. They
And
play
in the-
sevens.
some play at
They
night
just
to
play like
yeah.
So I know they, but there's not like really structured things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it's good fun, and I mean they enjoy themselves.
So a lot of fun to be had there. That was, of course, the semi-final at Brookside. Let's take now a look at the False Bay Sharks up against the False Bay Blitz team. Of course, this was in the Barbarians final. I must say, there's a lot of gears here. There's a lot of guys getting involved in the game, and of course, always making sure that they come up with funny names for the various leagues, so to speak. A lot of different leagues there, Paulie. Always the beer league.
Yeah.
Name some of these leagues for us.
Yeah, well, just it was just the Premier League where the top guys played in, the usual UCT, UWC, Marties, and then we had the Barbarians League, which was with a couple of invitational teams, and then a couple of B division club sides played in, and then obviously the Beer League where the Gears happened.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the big leagues. All right, then the highlights: False Bay Sharks up against the False Bay Blitz. The match of the day, I suppose, was an interesting one. The mighty Marties had to come across the mighty UWC on the day. Now, UWC didn't have the greatest of seasons during the club rugby season, and of course Marties doing fairly well themselves, winning the league side of things. They didn't turn up at the Champions League, but it was Marties against UWC on the day. And of course, when UWC is playing, you can be pretty sure that Tygerberg is not far behind supporting them, or Belha pretty close to supporting them as well. So I'm pretty sure UWC had a lot of supporters there on the day. UWC and against Marties in the cup final. Let's see what happened.
Right.
All right, there. Freddie Miller does it again. Paulie, you can't beat Freddie Miller in action, eh?
No, you can't. He was my player of the tournament. He was incredible from game 1 to game 6.
Jerome, we've shown Freddie Miller now a number of times on Cab Rugby TV. Game breaker. He's unstoppable. I mean, why does this guy not get more opportunity?
No, JP, it's he's one guy that definitely got all the skills and everything to make it to the top. But a lot of the things starts with him himself, because he's got a lot of opportunities. But he is a great player.
Yeah.
I
mean, he's that trademark chip and chase.
He'll do that every time. For example, he was supposed to play in the Western Province Sevens over the weekend, which he was part of the touring party overseas. And he's playing for UWC, which is a bit unfair to Western Province.
But I mean, do you bring a player into the? I'm sure the Sevens guys have been practicing for a long time. Do you bring a guy in on the week before, or do you stick to your squad?
No, he was part of the squad.
He's part of the squad.
He's the whole.
He's part of the squad. We have to have a mentorship chat session. We're going to have a little chat about our things. But let's just go to that point there in terms of well, in fact, let's leave it for a second now, because we're going to talk about the Saldanha Sevens in a second. There was, of course, the trophy handover. But let's take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the trophy handover as well as a couple of interviews with the guys from the Rocket Super Sevens. All right, then, welcome back, everybody. Yes, once again, that number 2 SMS for Matfin 31022. The keyword is debt, DEBT. They will help you with your financial problems if you've got any. All right, 31022. Just text them with the keyword debt. All right, of course, it was time now for the trophy handover at Brookside. Let's catch up with some of the highlights there. It was, of course, dark by that time of the day. Let's see what happened.
First of all, allow me to thank Warren and his organization for allowing Rocket once again to promote rugby in Cape Town. This is the type of thing that we need in rugby, not only in Cape Town, but in South Africa. That's where we identify talent. Talent that you saw today is expected to be, and that is what we want. We need that.
The Bay Blitz, let's put our hands together for the Barbarians League winner. Come on, boys.
Yes, bud! Yes! Yes! Yes, bud! Yes!
Come to the last one. Players awards. We're going to call out Mr. Paul Delport, who is, I think, an ambassador, the face of the Sevens. Yeah, let's give him a hand. I'm sure many of us have looked at his calves, felt a tingle in our groins before, and he's going to be shaking the hands of the winners. The winner of the beer league, he's not sure, is he? Brent Clacker. Lekker man. I'll give you a shake as well here. Ah, lovely. Then from the Barbarians, player of the tournament, Talik Johnson. There we go. Ready, Miller! The man tournament. Absolutely cooked throughout the tournament. Jacqueline Moses.
Welcome back there. Yes, nice little trophy hand over there. And of course, Anton Taylor, who about 4 years ago was the South African Mr. Movember. It is November now, but I see he's not doing Movember. You know, the snore thing. All right, then. We also managed to catch up with Delport, the captain of UWC. Very happy man after beating Marties.
Okay, well, we came here yesterday very rushed, and as the UWC boys always, you know, time isn't the best thing. And we pitched up. We had two teams actually. Our B team didn't manage to win any, but the boys supported us all the way. Very grateful for that. Us as the other team, we pushed on. We came out strong. Very good defensive efforts. I think our defense carried us throughout this whole tournament. Coming back today too. Very tough start again with Marties Canaries at the beginning. Then we got Western Province Academy. The boys are very physical. We had to switch the game plan up a little, and then, like Coach Miyagi from Marties said, a finals a tournament on its own, and we pitched up in the final, and we started off with 2 solid tries, and then they pulled 3 back, and then it was chasing from there. But Freddie Miller, individual brilliance to bring it through. I just want to thank Rockets and Villages for hosting us.
Delport Skalkwerk there, the captain of UWC 7 sides. Well done to you, my man. And of course, the player of the tournament, Freddie Miller. We spoke about him earlier on, a natural God-given talent to put a chip and chase over and score tries at the most critical of times. Freddie Miller.
But it was a nice experience of winning the cup, firstly. All praise to the man above. I think what this means for us team as a university, it means a hell of a lot. I think, especially for our coach that passed away this year, for Jeffrey Stevens, I think we did it all for him and in his honor, and it means a hell of a lot for us as a team, mentally and morale. And it will definitely take us further. Well, we've been training for the past month now, and we knew what it takes, and we have a great coaching staff. Clement Trout, Reginald Nut, and they know what is expected of us, especially when we go to such tournaments. We have Visa coming up in a month's time, and our preparation for these kind of tournaments are very hard. They're tough on us, especially with the fitness. We play a running style of rugby, and we also want to outrun the teams and outfit them as well.
Freddie Miller, yes, well done, Freddie. Nice to see you still flying the flag there for UWs and playing great rugby. And of course, we had to catch up with Paul Delport. He is with us today, but let's just pass on a bit of the energy.
It was great. Warren did a hell of a job. We started playing the Super Sevens quite a few months ago, and it was fantastic. Last year we had 16 teams. This year we had 34, which is what we're looking for. Next year we'll expand it a bit more. Just great to see so much talent out here. I know it's a difficult time of year for the guys, especially universities. Guys are running exams. The club's also coming off a long season. The guys came out, and the level of rugby and the conditioning was tremendous. So for me, scouting for talent for the SA Academy, for the Springbok Sevens Academy, it was great to see how much we have, and this is just scratching the surface. This is just Cape Town club talent, and it was a absolutely phenomenal 2 days.
That's right, funny. Paul Delport, of course we don't get to see Paul Delport that often, so we have to bring him onto the TV and then put him on the insert as well. Paulie, okay, let's wrap it up now, the Super Sevens there. Good gears altogether, you happy with the tournament?
Yes, chaps, definitely. Great level of rugby, and we just like to make it bigger next year. I think that's the biggest thing. We chatting to Jerome about it. We just really need to get some more seven structures up and running in the country.
We want to see more clubs doing sevens tournaments, Jerome. I mean, we had the Strand Pioneer Sevens last year. We had the Helderberg Extreme Sevens this year, and then of course we had last year the smaller one-day version of the sevens. But a couple of other clubs also. I think there was the West Bank Sevens, the West Bank Sevens. But we want to see more of these sevens. So we got more rugby activity. You agree?
Yeah, I think what we must do, JP, we must use the sevens as a sort of pre-season, and not at the end of the season, pre-season so that guys can get fit, because there's a lot of running, it's a lot of skills. So I think it's a great if we can start like the beginning of the season to use it as a.
I hear what you're saying. You're talking about using the sevens pre-season. I totally understand that. But don't you think that this is a great opportunity now for the clubs who've got so many players who maybe didn't have a chance to play in the 15-man game, the third team, the fourth team, or even the second team? This is a chance for them to have a run.
Yeah, definitely, JP. But I mean, you can, if you start, like I say, the beginning of the season and use it as a pre-season, you can use everybody. You can every Saturday you can play.
Are you trying to tell me that there is a reason why one has to stop playing rugby at any time during the year?
No, we're never going to stop playing rugby, JP.
So you can still play rugby now?
Yeah.
Touch rugby, sevens rugby.
Rugby's still on. Look, okay. Durbell is playing in Uppington against Uppington on Saturday. And where a club still in November playing rugby, wherever did you see that? So rugby's not going to stop.
Durbell is playing against?
Uppington, in Uppington this weekend, Saturday.
Has this got anything to do with
the Community Cup? Yeah.
Community Cup
games. It's still knockout for Community Cup.
So they're still trying to work this out?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know, this Community Cup thing, I don't know. I actually still don't, I don't know who's really playing in the Community Cup. Durbell. I thought Delport was guaranteed and Hamilton's had to play a playoff.
No, Delport played 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be the team that was the highest ranking in the league at Western Province who would get guaranteed to play, and then the second team had to play? You see, folks, I don't even know myself, and I'm not going to ask Jerome how the Community Cup works, but we'll get all the SA Rugby and we'll ask them to give us the update and give us the exact information. Right, Evox Advanced Nutrition is, of course, the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Now, you, as a club rugby player, all right, very important that you understand this, you, as a club rugby player, are allowed to go directly to the Evox factory shop, where you get sponsored reduced rates on Evox products, all right? So if you want to get your, and remember, it's off-season now. You want to put on the muscle, you need to put it on now because you've got about 4 or 5 months left before it all starts again. And you'll need to pack on the weight in the off-season, and especially now that you have that chance, get in the gym, hit the weights hard, and get your supplements in. All you need to do to win this bucket of solid mass is tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Just SMS the answer to 33280 and you can win a 5 kilogram Evox solid mass. Congratulations to last week's winner, Wilfred Gertsen. Wilfred was the winner of last week's solid mass. Right, there you go. If you would like to get hold of your Evox products, whether it be the solid mass or the 5XL or the Synergy Whey protein, you can go directly, as a club rugby player, as part of the Western Province Rugby sponsorship, go directly to the Evox factory shop in Cape Town, and the guys will be able to get hold of you. And to find out more, just go to the front page of the Western Province Club Rugby website, and there's a banner there on the right hand side of the Western Province Club Rugby site, and you'll be able to find out a lot more there. We'll take an ad break, and we'll come back to you afterwards. And remember, we're going to now start telling you about Tinus Lanier and his memorial, and wrap it up with a little bit of a focus around Tinus. Back in a sec. Right, this Thursday or Friday, you can of course catch the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens finals. That's happening at City Park. We're just not exactly sure, folks, so just pay attention to the Western Province Club Rugby website, whether it's on Thursday or Friday, because there are a number of memorials now for Tinus Lanier coming up Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and of course his funeral on Saturday, but we'll tell you about that in a second. Let's quickly look at some of those fixtures then coming up at City Park. As I said, either on Friday or Saturday. A number of games. They'll be kicking off at 6:30. UWC, Tygerberg, Mighties and Vicks. Going through all the way to 9:15. So Kells River, Strand and False Bay and Durbell. Those are your 4 teams that will be playing in the various fields, and that is at City Park. As I said, it starts off at 6:30 with UWC against Tygerberg. So that's going to be a cracker of a game. Jerome, it was of course the Western Province, at least the national provincial sevens tournament at Saldanha over the weekend. Hoe het gegaan?
Yeah, JP, we started off quite well on Friday, beat the Griffins, and then we lost to the Boland, and then we beat Lions on Friday.
Again?
Yeah, again, we beat them again on Friday. And then Saturday morning we played EP, which we beat EP, and then semi-finals we lost against the Bulls. And I said to Ricky on Saturday, I don't know, something's wrong with this sevens team, because we can just reach semis for how many
There's
years
been a lot
now?
of semis now. Yeah.
Semis, yeah. So it's a bit unfortunate for the sevens, but yeah, again, sevens, just semi-finals.
Yeah. All right, folks. As you know, we started it off on a rather sad note when we announced to you, in fact, on Monday morning already, that sadly, Tinus Lanier, Western Province Rugby stalwart, had passed away. He's been suffering from motor neuron disease for such a long time, and I think it was rather appropriate for us to ask Jerome to join us on the show, considering Tinus and his friendship. Jerome, very sad moment. It was coming, but very sad moment for the family and friends, and so many thousands of people now have been supporting Tinus.
Yeah, definitely, JP. What a great man Tinus was, and I mean, we all knew it's not going to last long, but we didn't expect this quick, and it's tough on the family, especially his wife Diana. She was really taking good care of Tinus, and also all his friends in Paarl. Was a big shock for them to hear the news on Monday, and yeah, but I suppose that. Life goes on, and it's tough, and I think Tinus, as we remember him, was a type of guy. He never moans, so I think he wouldn't like people to cry too much about this occasion.
He was a tough guy always. Huh?
He was a tough guy, and yeah, but he was a great guy.
You know, it's extremely difficult for us folks to tell you the story in a bigger sense, and to pay an even bigger tribute. Unfortunately, you know, we're a community TV show, and we don't have history, footage that belongs to other broadcasters of some of Tinus's hard tackles, for example, or some of the great tries that he scored. So, you know, the best we can do is kind of share some of his memories with his friends, and ask those of you that have, you know, that knew Tinus or wanted to pay tribute to send some comments in. And I think over the next few weeks, we will continue to share some of our thoughts and memories of Tinus, and bring some photographs of Tinus onto the show. And I certainly don't think that us, in such a short period of time, can say enough, or will even say that it is enough for tonight, because we will keep talking about Tinus, and hopefully everybody will continue to remember. But we did ask some of you to send your comments on Facebook, and I thought I would just take a minute to read some of those comments from you. So let's take a look at some of the posts that you put on Facebook. As you can see, there's our Facebook page, and Anselm April was one of the first to post there, and he said that he's already given condolence in the public space, and he went on to remember Tinus Enver Klutener. No money is needed where there is now, but the memories he left behind is more important than the money. And Clyde Blyke is also posting there his sincere condolences to the family. And then previously on the Monday, we also asked you to post a few more posts there. And you guys like Mark Cupido saying that he was the best crash tackler and centre and a serious rugby player. And then Colleen Fortain saying rest in peace Tinus, and of course Donovan Jacobs also saying rest in peace Tinus, and condolences to the family from Ronald Klein. So just a couple of short messages that have come in there. A longer message there from Anselm April, who mentioned quite a lot of Tinus, and but I'm sure it's going to be, the next few days is going to be tough still for people to come to terms with that. To come to terms with the fact that Tinus is no longer with us, but it's almost it's extremely sad, but it's almost it's a great way for us to keep remembering him now. You know, with so many people talking about Tinus and remembering him for his history. I mean, what are some of the big moments that you can remember? You know, you played with Tinus, you coached with Tinus, you unfortunately played golf with Tinus. I also played golf with Tinus. I think we both lost badly on that day.
Yeah, JP, like for me, just to see, I mean, I've played lots of games with Tinus, I've taught with Tinus, and just the humor that he brings to the team. Like, if you win or lose, Tinus is always the same. He's the guy that starts the singing. He's the guy that gets everything going.
Hij was een beetje van de stoot gehad.
Yeah, but in a good way, JP.
In a good way, yeah.
In a good
Oh,
way.
no, he wasn't like a
That
James
was-
Dalton. stuff
No,
like
no,
that.
no, 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 no. He was never like.
He had a
would
great sense of humor.
like like
Yeah.
if you like travel with Tinus in a bus, and you sit in front of the bus and he's at the back, like how he talks, like you talk like Nelson Mandela. You think it's Nelson Mandela. You talk like you Bladen.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. So that's the type of things that he was good at. And just
And
JP. And I mean, I've played with him, and I've got so many stories to tell. But there's just this one thing that stood out for me, and everybody knows how Tinus could tackle. We've played against Southwest Africa that time, which is Namibia now, and we played there. And you all know how Tinus could tackle, but he tackled at centres that day that he was, at one stage he was a bit concussed, and he went to go stand next to the centres of Namibia, of Southwest Africa, like waiting for the ball. So I had to go fetch him and say, Tinus, let me cover you, let me do some of the tackles. And the way Tinus is like the next time he was just continuing tackling and going crazy. But in short, JP, it's just the for me to see the impact that he left Monday evening at his house, all the people there, the whole day, people coming, and just on the news, and everybody talking about Tinus. And he was the type of guy that he would never talk about himself.
Yeah.
He was always on the back seat, and he was like, you'd never. And it's a friend of mine was here a few months ago from Italy, sent me a thing to say sorry about Tinus he heard. People in Kenya sent me
All around the
things.
world.
They all know about what's happening, and just the way Tinus was, you would never say that he would leave a thing like that, and it's just amazing. People always think it's the guy that wear the best clothes, drive the best cars and things like that. And Tinus was just a normal guy, but the impact and the way people respect him today, it's actually sad. I mean, now he's dead, and it normally happens when you die, but unfortunately that's how Tinus was. He wouldn't have let.
I'm gonna stop you there because it was fantastic for me, and I think we can spend so much time talking about it, and we can probably, dedicate an entire episode to Tinus, and I think we might just see if we can do something like that. But those things you were talking about, him sitting in the back of the bus talking like Nelson Mandela, making the crash tackles. I remember playing golf with him, and it was seriously, it was the worst golf we've ever played. That was baie sleg, all right. Those are the memories, not the last few months. We have to remember Tinus in his heyday. Those are so many positive memories that are going to travel with us, and so folks, Paulie, I don't know if you want to say anything on Tinus.
Yeah, chaps, just for someone who was lucky enough to have been coached by him, I think everything that Jerome said is spot on. Just someone who was always very humble.
Yeah.
He always had that glint in his eye, and he always made things funny. I mean, he was very involved in the school system, and then also in the junior rugby system.
Yeah.
And he was a wonderful man. It was an absolute honour to have known him and to have been coached by him.
Okay, Paulie, I'm going to say thank you very much to you for joining us on the show this evening, and we hope to see you soon. We definitely want to keep you glued into that chair.
No, thanks, chaps. Always good being here.
En Jerome, ons sien vir jou natuurlik oor die naweek, en best of luck met as jy daar gaan uitskiet na die sevens toe.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, JP.
Okay, folks, tonight's show is, of course, dedicated to the memory of Tinus Lanier, a man who's had a great impact on so many people out there. And I was going to say a great impact in the world of rugby, which he did, but I think he had a great impact on the lives of so many people out there, not only through rugby, but also through his person, bringing so much hope to people in Cape Town and South Africa, for that matter. For those of you that want to attend some of the memorial functions that are going to be held, you can get down to Northern's Avonwood, of course, on Saturday, at least on Wednesday. This is the 5th of November at 7 o'clock, Northern's Avenue. All clubs are welcome. And Abraham Fredericks told me that anybody can arrive, and that starts at 7 o'clock. Then on Thursday at Boerland Park at Boerbergsaal, starting at 5 p.m. That's on Thursday, the 6th of November. you can get down to Boland Park also for the memorial for Tinus Lanier. And then on Saturday, it's Tinus's funeral, starting at 10 a.m. at the Huguenote 4GK Klein Drakensbergweg. All right, that's the church in the Huguenote 4GK in Klein Drakensbergweg. For those of you that are watching, we trust you have a good evening and a fantastic rugby weekend, and that you will remember Tinus Lanier for the very best man that he was. Thank you. Enjoy the evening. Good night.